Today, I have a special episode for you. I'm going to be interviewing my client, Scott Ritchie. Scott, when he came to me, he was about to turn 50. He was successful, but he was struggling to get in shape. Even more importantly, he had a health scare a few years ago that made him decide to take his health and make it a priority. But the problem was he was binge eating over the weekends, even though he was following a diet during the week. And he was doing cardio every day, but he just wasn't seeing the results. Sound familiar? So he was frustrated, wanted to change. He wanted to be in the best shape in his 50s. So after listening to my podcast for a few months, Scott decided to jump on a call with me. And in this episode, you're going to hear the story of his incredible transformation. He told me, Ted, I know this is possible. I know I'm missing something. I need some guidance. And you're going to hear what happened. So if you're over 40 and you're frustrated right now, you feel like, you know what, looking great, being lean, being healthy just doesn't seem to go with enjoying life at the same time, you're going to enjoy this episode. It's going to change your perspective. You're going to learn the mindset shifts that Scott made, and he's going to share the strategies that helped him get to his lowest body fat since his 20s. He also learned how to stop overeating. He got that under control. And he started seeing results every single week. We put him on the right training program. He's going to share all of that with you today. So if you're curious about how I get great results with my clients, and more specifically, what their journey was like, what it was really like, the honest truth about transformation, then you're going to learn a lot from this episode. You're going to get inspired. You're going to take away some practical applications, and you're also going to get some perspective on what it's really like to transform your body. You're going to love this one. Can't wait to share it with you, and let's get to it. Scott, thanks so much for being on the show today. You're here to share your story of being in the Legendary Life program and your success in the story and what you learned from it. And most importantly, to help other people who are listening right now perhaps get better results from what they've been up to. First of all, how have you been? We haven't talked in a few months.
Oh, I feel great. I'm still living the legendary life, the after effects of my first 3 months. Just feeling great. Couldn't be better, actually.
Very cool. So let's start at the beginning. You came to me. What was the situation that you were struggling with, and why did you decide to join the program?
It's a great question. It was, I wouldn't say it was a low point in my life. It was actually a really good time in my life, but I knew I needed some direction. And I just felt like, in God we trust. I'd listened to your podcast enough that I felt like I said, in Ted I trust. So I wanted to do that. And I remember it was a Monday morning. And I thought, I'm just going to make the phone call. And I did it. You got back to me. The phone call didn't go quite as the way I thought it would, because you were really serious. And like you mentioned, you always you kind of put the heat on people, and you did on me. And I needed that. And so I appreciated it. And I made it work, and you made it work. So, but at the end of the day, I needed that direction. I really did. And I was ready for it. So that's where it was in my life.
Very cool. And when you say it put pressure on you, that's so interesting. It didn't go down. No, you said it didn't go down the way that you thought. How did it go down? What did you think was going to happen? Just so, I don't know, someone thinking about hopping on a call with me might be curious. I'm curious too.
Yeah, well, I think you mentioned it in other podcasts that it's not going to be all fluffy and hugs and kisses. And not that I was expecting that, but I said, I'm ready to put my money where my mouth is. And you were like, I don't know, are you, Scott? And I hadn't had someone really call me out. And you said, are you really ready to do this? And I prior to getting on, I'm like, yeah, I am. But when you said it to me as a matter of factly, and I knew your expertise, I'm like, you know what? I really need this. And anyways, it just wasn't soft, is what I want to say. I needed a little bit of a push, and you gave me that push. So I appreciated it.
And just Just for clarity, was I disrespectful or mean? And you can be honest.
Oh, absolutely not. And I want to say that, like, I agree. Let's clear it up. You just said, "Are you really?" And it was the tone in your voice. It was the way you enunciated yourself. It was like you were right there with me. You didn't say anything to make me feel bad, or I didn't feel not good enough. I was like, "Whoa, this is go time." Like, we're right in front of each other, even though we're on a phone call, and this is go time, and I want to do it. So, and it's exactly what I needed. Your podcast, I love the way you speak, and I love the way the information you give. But when I was on the phone with you, it was just, you were that much more of an expert, and I was just ready for it. But it surprised me.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just to talk about that a bit, one of the issues that I see with people who really want to make a change is sometimes they don't really want to make it. It's nice to think about, but taking action requires really taking action. And for a lot of people, putting skin in the game, it's when you're not ready to do that, you're not really. I just hired a new therapist for myself. And I've been thinking about working with this person for a while, and she's a bit more expensive than my last therapist. But I was like, you know what? I just need to invest in myself, and I did it. And if she put the heat on me, she would have gotten me to sign up earlier, though. So that's what I try to help people do, is just get clear on, like, if it's a no, it's okay. But if it's yes, let's go. But let's not be in that in-between place. And so many people are like, yeah, I'm ready. Oh, but let me just think about it a little bit more. Let me let me think about it. Let me look at some other options. I'm like, so my goal is to really help people to take action right then and there, and then to continue that momentum throughout the entire program. Is that what you felt like happened?
Yeah, exactly. I needed that, and you gave me what I needed. It wasn't soft, but it was you were an expert, and you wanted to know, am I in it? And I like what you said with that in between game. Well, I was ready for the full game, but it came pretty quick, and I liked it. So I appreciated the very first phone call from the start. It was game on, and I loved it.
Very cool. And just so someone can understand, the person listening right now can understand your fitness journey, can you talk a little bit about what you were doing before, what you've tried in the past?
Yeah, sure. I'm the typical 6 foot, 240-pound guy who thought he was an athlete, would run or bike every day, do something, and then crush beers, on the weekend, not really dialed in on the diet. But whenever I looked at a picture, I really didn't see it as that bad. And then it just finally, I was turning 50, what was happening. So it was 3 months before my 50th birthday. And I said, I finally owned up to myself and said, no, this is not. Like, as much as I'm saying to myself, this is okay, it's not okay. I do have some heart issues. I had a previous heart attack 3 years prior. I was incrementally getting better, but I hadn't lost any weight. And that was really bugging me. So 240 pounds on a 6 foot frame is not good. It's not good at all. So at the end of the day, I kind of had to have a talk with myself. I've been listening to you for a long while. And I said, I got to get a game plan. I need a map on how to get there. And I think Ted's the guy to do it. So as I mentioned before, I put my money where my mouth is. I made the phone call. And you gave me that map, or whatever you want, itinerary, you name it. You put whatever fancy name in front of it. I needed someone to guide me, and that was you. And it worked, because we got down to my goal weight, which I'm so happy for. So at the end of the day, just to fine tune it, you gave me the tools to actually finalize what I was looking for.
And can you say what you started out at 240? What is the goal weight that you hit?
I did not want to be in the 200s any longer for the rest of my life. So I set my goal weight at 199. You said that was a little bit too much.
Ambitious,
but we didn't get it right on the date. We got it a little bit later, but that was fine. I did get to my goal weight of 199. And it was a huge accomplishment. And I can't stress this enough, I would not have got there without your program. I would not. It would not have happened.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And let's talk about that a little bit, because there's a lot of programs that can help you lose weight. There are so many out there that you could, I don't want to say more effective than what I do, because I consider the long-term effects. But I have a client who is with me right now. He dropped 40 pounds in 6 weeks doing a 500 calorie a day diet. I forgot who he worked with. I think it was a doctor or a hospital or something like that, because it's extremely low. How would you say what the Legendary Life program, how would you say it's different than other things you've done in the past?
For me, it was that you have a plan. It was that you have done it time and time again. I trusted your plan. I trusted you. I trusted your results. And then I started seeing the results, right? Like, it wasn't crazy. I didn't do 10 pounds in 1 week or anything like that. But what I want to reiterate, and I think what people would appreciate mostly, is that I did see the 2 to 4 pounds every week, every 10 days. Every time I looked at that little graph, it was going down. And I just had to say, like, it works. Like, it just, if I stuck to it, which I did. And there was a weekend where, you have mentioned that don't look at the per se day, but look at the week calories. And I lit it up on a Thanksgiving, and I went up 2 pounds, and I didn't fret because I knew the program and the lifestyle that you had implemented, it was going to work. So it was a combination of our talks. It was a combination of obviously the app and the workout that you gave me. And then obviously my fitness app, watching my calories every day, the macros, you dialed in the macros, and it's just money in the bank. Like, it works. And I can't thank you enough for it and giving me the tools for the rest of my life. And I've told the countless other people, because they've all come up to me and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm eating whatever I want, but I'm staying within my caloric intake every day." And it gives you a sense of ease. You don't have to stress about it. And I think that's what you stress, is that don't get all bent out of shape because of one bad day, 2 bad days. Look at the week. And at the end of the day, they just kept on coming off. And I was just so thankful. It just kept on coming off.
And right, one of the questions that people ask me the most are like, "Hey, so what foods do I get? What do I have to cut out? Just tell me, what are you going to have me eating?" Can you talk a little bit about, because everyone wants to know, like, okay, so what are the foods you're going to have me eat? So is it like no sugar? Do I have to give up alcohol? Do I have to cut anything out? What would you tell someone right now who is asking that question? Hey, well, what did you have to give up in the program? What were you allowed to eat in the program?
First thing I'd say is don't worry about any of that, because you're going to eat whatever you want within reason. So what happened was, the first 10 days, you watched my my meals, because I plugged them into the MyFitness app, and you connected with me. And I was trying to keep it. You gave me a calorie goal, which I tried to keep it there. And then around the 10-day, 2-week mark, you said, "Okay, I see that you had a ribeye steak. Could you replace the ribeye with something that maybe doesn't have so much fat in it?" So then we went to, a chicken. I was still within my caloric intake, but you dialed it in where we said, let's just try and cut out a bit of the fat. And we did that, and it just seemed to work really well. So instead of having 3 eggs for breakfast on a Saturday, I would have 1 egg and 2 egg whites. And the amount of calories that I was saving, the amount of macros that I was saving, the pounds just started melting off me. I was still able to have my beer, but I said, okay, well, let's get one of those low-cal beers. And when you start working with the app and you started dialing it in for me, it really just really clicked, and it worked. So I didn't feel like I missed anything. I could have something, and I'd look back at my app and go, I'm either 100 calories away or I'm 100 calories over. And it just gave me that sense of, I knew with my map that you had given me, I knew where I was going, and I was going to get there. Whether it was a weekly goal or a monthly goal, I was still going to get there.
And with someone listening to that and like calories, I don't know about that. Can you talk about how I taught you how to learn about the food that you're eating? Talk about the lessons that you learned from this versus some of the other nutrition approaches you've tried in the past. What would you say to someone who's like, no, I really don't want to like tracking? That sounds like too much work. It sounds like too much to wrap my head around. Can I just cut carbs? Can I just stop eating fat? Can I just cut out the sugar? How would you explain that? What would you say to someone who asked you, who had that immediate reaction to like knowing their numbers? This podcast is sponsored by the Legendary Life Program. The Legendary Life Program is a 90-day coaching program where I work with you to upgrade your health, burn fat, and transform your body while you enjoy your life and eat the foods that you love. For more information, go to legendarylifeprogram.com. That's legendarylifeprogram.com. Now, back to the show.
For me, it was about, I wasn't tracking anything and I wasn't getting the results. So then I jump on with your program and I start tracking a little bit and I start getting results. So I said to myself, this is what I need. I have my phone literally within 10 feet of me at all times of the day. It was not hard to throw in a couple of meals. Like at the start, I actually made, let's say if I had a shake in the morning, I was able to make a meal. So all I had to press breakfast, like on the app, I had to hit breakfast and then my shake. All the ingredients in it. It was just so simple. And I've actually taught people how to do that. So you can, I would say it wouldn't take more than 5 minutes to put in all of your meals of the day. I did it after every meal, but it's still, if I totaled it up, it wasn't any more than 5 minutes of the day. It would be no much more than, a couple of texts with friends. So you already got your phone on you. It's so simple, but the results are just so great for what you're doing. And again, it gave me, by the time dinner came around and I saw that I had maybe 600 or 400 calories left, it gave me a plan on what I was going to do because I didn't want to go over. And again, it sets you at ease and you're going to hit your goals by the end of the week because you have this app that's telling you your macros. And by the end of it, I started, moving my macros around where I wanted more protein because I wanted to keep my muscle up. That's a whole nother aspect to it. But when I was just looking at the calories, for the most part, it was just the ultimate guide for me that I needed. And it was right there on my phone. It wasn't on paper. I didn't have to go and review it somewhere. I didn't have to go onto a website. It's all there with all the foods you're already eating. It's just portion control by calorie, right? And it's calories in, calories out. That's something else I learned. If you keep them down, you're going to lose the weight. And calories can sneak up on you. I have a partner that literally has 2 Boston creams a day. He doesn't realize Boston cream donuts. Doesn't even realize he's putting 1,000 calories in his body every day without even thinking, and he doesn't know why he's overweight. Well, if you plugged in a Boston cream, you're going to see, that's a lot of calories. So other things we talked about was the satiation effect of certain foods. That's a whole nother thing, but you can find low calorie foods with your help and the app that are lower in calorie, but keep you fuller longer. And that was a game changer for me as well.
Yeah, that was what I was going to ask you about next. One of the concerns people have on and negative experiences they've had trying to lose weight in the past is, I'm so hungry. Did you struggle with hunger during the program? What was that like?
I max struggled with it for about 5 to 7 days, the first 5 to 7 days, just because I was dialing everything in. But after having a talk with you and being on your group coaching call, we hashed out, and you've got some great insight on the different effects of different foods and how they keep you fuller for longer or make you feel like you're not as hungry. So I took that to heart. The example of a sweet potato, adding a sweet part of a sweet potato to your dinner, low calories, but keeps you fuller longer, or just potatoes straight across the board. But believe me, I don't want to start reciting your lessons that you taught me, but at the end of the day, having a banana as a snack at night by freezing it in the freezer, and it tastes like ice cream. To one of my favorite ones is this low fat, so zero fat Greek yogurt. That was a game changer for me. I could have a big bowl of that. It was 100 calories with some blueberries, and believe me, at the end of the night or 8 o'clock when you want to have a snack, you're not hungry after that. It's perfect. So what you taught myself and all the other people, just these little tweaks that I needed, and I would have never figured this out myself. So all the thanks goes to you and the program. But there was a lot of foods that I wasn't eating that would have kept me a lot fuller for longer, and there was a lot of foods that I was eating prior that didn't keep me full at all, high in calories, and got me to 240 pounds, ex-heart attack victim, and now I'm feeling like $1 million.
Incredible. And that's a really important one, right? The satiating effects of foods, because when we eat, we're hungry, right? That's why we eat. And if you're hungry all the time on a nutrition approach, it's just a recipe for failure. Scott, what would you say to someone who what do you think now about like the whole low carb approach after coming through my program? What would you say to someone who feels like they've got to cut out all the carbs? Now, if they love cutting out carbs and eating fattier foods, that's okay. But what would you say to someone who feels like they need to cut carbs out of their life to lose fat? What would you say to that person?
Well, I would do it within reason. If you have a goal, and if they've spoken to you and you've set out a goal with them of what their calories are, then there's no problem at all sliding in the carbs as long as you stay within your caloric goal. I'm a big bread guy. I don't think I'll ever change that. I grew up on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and then, went to, let's say any turkey sandwiches for lunch. I cannot get away from my lunchtime sandwich or wrap or whatever it is. But I just fit it into my caloric goal. I know for a fact that I would not do good with zero carbs. I would be one cranky hombre. So I keep my carbs as low as I possibly can. I found a really good gluten-free bread that I absolutely love. I got it at Costco, and man, I can buy stock in this stuff. It's so good. But I slide it in every day or every second day. On Saturday, I have one piece of toast. Like, absolutely. I would never give up carbs, and I was still able to reach my goal. Now, did I restrict them? Absolutely. Did I dial in my my carbs? Yes, because I wanted to keep them within my caloric goal. So it was very easy.
Cool. And how would you say your life has changed since you lost the 40 pounds? And I guess it's more like 3.5 months, 3.5 or 4 months. How has your life changed aside from just fitting into clothes differently, like, and the weight loss when you step on the scale? How has your life changed since the program?
Well, I could go on and on. There's a laundry list of good things that have happened. But first thing comes to mind is not being tired all the time, not being tired after dinner, wanting to do things, more physical activity, obviously. Obviously, you got to say it, who doesn't like getting compliments? The compliments were off the charts. Yeah, the clothes, I had to go buy a whole new set of clothes, but the compliments and people, I noticed people really react to you differently. So unfortunately, when I was overweight, I always had those people say, Scott, I never thought you were 240. You carry it well. Well, I think that's the biggest, I don't know. They're just trying to be nice, but no, I didn't carry it well. And now that I'm down to almost like perfect BMI, and I know that's not a perfect goal, but one of my goals is to be able to get life insurance, and my life insurance I won't be able to get it without the proper BMI. And that's just the way they go. But at the end of the day, the aura that you give off, now I wasn't cocky. I didn't have a big ego, but you just feel more confident. You stand differently. I could feel my abs engage if I was standing for a long time. I could feel my muscles in my back tighten up and feel good because I was standing more erect. I gave off kind of like you when I talk to you, or I've seen you in your videos or the on Instagram, whatever. You stand and you just command a presence, and with a body that you're proud of and that you worked hard, you're just going to feel better all around. My wife has noticed it. My children I have adult children. They've noticed it. Coworkers, like the compliments. And they're just like, there's something different. It's not just the weight, Scott. And I'm like, yeah, it's because I feel confident now. Right. So there's a long laundry list. Bending over to tie my shoes, it's so much easier. You know what I mean? Like that's a bonus. I can put my leg up on my knee and tie them instead of having to hunch over and do it. You know what I mean? Like there's just little things, but all the little things add up and they're just great things. So at the end of the day, I could never do this in under 1 hour to say all the benefits, but there are many, and they're mostly visible that everybody can see. And the compliments are obviously, it's so nice to get for once in your life, right?
Wow. Powerful, Scott. And I'm so happy for you. You just crushed it. You were really ready for this change. And I'm so grateful. Like you've given me a lot of compliments about working with me, but it's a teamwork, right? We had to work together, and we have to work with each other. And it was just a pleasure to work with you. You're so ready for it, and just great to hear how this change, this transformation, because your transformation is just incredible. You look like a different person, and it's just so happy to hear the other stuff, right? The scale weight is nice, but the benefits, the intangibles that are hard to quantify sometimes, but you feel the qualitative, you feel the benefits. You just did a great job of explaining that. What would you say to someone who's thinking about working with me, but they're on the fence about it? What would you say to that person? How would they know that if it's right for them or not? And just very honestly, I know you're a big believer in me and what I do, but certainly I'm not the right coach for everyone. What would you say to someone who's on the fence? How would they know if this is right for them or not?
For myself, it was the results that I've seen you get with other people. Now I'm one of those other people. And for me, I would say to that person, if you haven't already achieved your goals, then you're going to need a map. You're going to need a guide. You're going to need an expert, and Ted's that expert. You've been in the field for 23 years. You've seen it all. You know what works and what doesn't. You're going to save that person the pain of maybe getting into something else that might not work, because you know your program works. And I saw the confidence that you had in your program, and it immediately transferred to me because I knew it was going to work. Well, now I'm through it and I know it works. And it was kind of like a 3-pronged effect. I had you in my back pocket that I could text, which I didn't bug you too much because I know you're a busy guy. But when I did, you got back to me. 2, you gave me this app, and anybody can sign up for the MyFitnessPal, but you dialed it in where you were showing me stuff that not everybody knows. And that subscription alone, I'm going to have for the rest of my life. And then, we had some group calls. Those are really good. And actually a 4-prong approach. And my workouts, I really enjoyed the workouts you did give me. You tailored them to my needs. So with those 4, I want to say legs or pillars, I knew there was no way I couldn't achieve the goals. So I'd say to that person, there's no way if you follow it almost to the letter that you're not going to achieve your goals. It's impossible. It's simple math. Calories in, calories out. Dial in what you're eating. Do the exercises. Do the calls with Ted. Ask all the questions you possibly can, because there isn't anything that he hasn't come across. No question is stupid. I thought I had some dumb questions, and you never made me feel bad. You never made me feel like I didn't know. And I just relied on your expertise, and it works. It worked. So that's what I would have to say.
Scott Ritchie, thanks so much. Really appreciate you. So psyched for your results, and how this is not something that just you lost weight for 3 months and then gained it all back, but you feel like you're set for life now because of you learned skills you had an experiential process that you went through where, yeah, do you feel like you'll ever need a diet book or to hire a coach? Will you ever put on 10 pounds because you had too much fun on vacation and ever wonder, oh, who do I have to hire now? How do I lose fat? What book do I read? Do you think you'll ever have that?
No. I don't think I'll ever need it again. Honestly, you've given me the tools that I can take this for the rest of my life. Yes, there's going to be ups and downs, different life scenarios, but the knowledge that I gained going through the journey will be with me for the rest of my life for sure. I honestly don't feel I need anything else.
Very cool. Well, thanks so much for your time today. Always a pleasure. Can't wait to catch up in a few more months and just see how you're doing. And Scott, just couldn't be more happy for you.
I appreciate it. I appreciate everything you taught me and taking me on this journey. I really appreciated everything that you did.
You got it, Scott. Well, it takes two to tango, and you showed up. You made it happen. And teamwork, baby, teamwork.
That's right.
All right. Thanks so much. And looking forward to catching up with you again soon. Thank you again for doing this. This podcast is sponsored by the Legendary Life Program. The Legendary Life Program is a 90-day coaching program where I work with you to upgrade your health, burn fat, and transform your body while you enjoy your life and eat the foods that you love. So if you're over 40, you've tried everything and nothing has worked long-term, or if you're tired of restrictive dieting and time-consuming workouts, this might be the right program for you. So if you want to learn more about my program, watch my brand new masterclass where I teach you the 5-step process our busy clients are using to build a leaner, stronger, and healthier body 3 times faster without boot camps, CrossFit, high-intensity interval training, Pilates, intermittent fasting, going keto, or quick fixes that don't work long-term. Go to legendarylifepodcast.com/free. That's legendarylifepodcast.com/free.